I went into a full spiral on Depop. I spent $400 last month. Actually, I spent even more than that, and then there were some refunds. I'll get into it, but yeah, it was a binge. And honestly, I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I got some great things, but it's kind of forced me to consider my relationship with consumption, which I have normally thought was pretty good. And also there was a bit of drama with some sellers, so you're like, am I a Karen? I don't know. So I am making this video because I'd like someone to weigh in, perhaps. I'm Georgia. I am all about living a creative and stylish life without screwing your bank account or the planet. So here you'll find a lot of thrifting, DIY, upcycling, but a lot of personal finance and lifestyle stuff as well. So if that's your jam, come on. If you're just here for the drama, fair enough. I'm gonna do a haul in the first part of this video, like a try on of the things I've bought. I'm pretty happy with everything that I got, and I also got like pretty resellable things like brands and things. So if I'm not 100%, I can repop them. So I'm kind of like, I'm gonna try them on and I'll explain the things that I, like if there's anything I'm hesitant about or things that I love, and we can kind of see if they're worth keeping. And then I also had like mini Depop drama that I'll put at the end. I'll timestamp it. So if you're just here for the drama, fair enough. Now, a bit of context about me. I'd call myself a pretty conscious consumer. That's what I strive to do. Any impulse shopping urges that I have, I get out at the thrift, at the op shop, but I'm not constantly scrolling on like fast fashion websites. I don't have packages arriving at my house all the time. And I'm really big on secondhand everything. And maybe that's why Depop is my kryptonite, because I can get the dopamine hit of scrolling and instantly purchasing things online and, you know, seeing models wearing things and thinking, oh, maybe I could look like that. But I don't have the consumer guilt that I would if I was buying it new. And so I can maybe be a bit trigger happy. Maybe that's part of it. But generally, if I'm looking at buying something like online, I spend a long time thinking about it. Except for like once a year, maybe twice a year, where something happens and I just like twig and end up going deep on wanting like lots of new things. And so last month I had put in my monthly budget money for an ultra human ring, $600 for an ultra human ring. I actually, side note, ended up getting an Aura ring secondhand on Facebook Marketplace this month. But last month I'd put it in at the start of the budget, and then after a few weeks I was still umming and ahhing, and I was like, well, if I don't get an ultra human ring, maybe I'll just like have a little look on Depop, see if there's like something for winter. I don't know what I initially was looking for, but like, you know, practical, sensible adult shopping. And then, I don't know, all the pretty pictures, scrolling, it just like did the thing that their marketing team designs it to do, I guess, successfully. And I purchased a bunch of stuff, but like I look back on it and there's just like a week of spending all your time thinking like, do I really want that? If I get that, should I get that? What if someone else buys it first and I'm not sure? What about, I don't think it's worth that, I'm gonna make them an offer. Oh, they countered my offer, blah, blah, blah. Just like all the time that it takes thinking about it, let alone the money. And then you've spent like 17 hours thinking about something and imagining myself as a whole new person who irons their clothes and doesn't just wear trackies most of the time. And then it arrives and you hope that it even fits or looks good. So I get the dopamine hit of buying it, but then often by the time it arrives, I'm not so sure anymore. She's just a cruel mistress, really. So all that to say, let's do a try on. I'm gonna show you what I got. I'm gonna tell you what I paid, including shipping, and let's yap about it. And then we'll get into the kind of drama.
Now, if you're a regular Sherlock Holmes, you may see that the time is different. I am filming this later. Sorry to show you how the sausage is made, but I had to run off. And so I was like, here we are. And the other thing I wanted to mention was this. I've got a new favorite basics brand. It's called Australian Stitch. They're handmade in Melbourne. I'll put up some screenshots of their Instagram because they're very transparent about how and who they make their clothes, which I think is just so refreshing. And I haven't taken this off, and I got a little strapless bandeau, and I'm going to order this in black. So in total, after the refunds, which I'll explain later, I spent $413.50. I'm just going to go from like the first thing I ordered to the last. My neighbors are about to get the show of their lives, but if I close the curtains, there won't be very good light. So it's a shame they're a happily married gay couple, because this will be lost on them.
Okay, so these are a pair of Jasmine Alexa Panera pants, I think is what it's called. Let me move you down. I don't know if that's a great angle. Basically, I've been getting targeted ads for these for a while. I love a wide leg pant. I will say that these aren't as wide as I thought they would be. Yeah, like I'd say that these are kind of, I didn't want to flare, but I guess because I'm big up here, I need an even wider leg for it to look wide leg. I'd been advertised these. I think they're 150 new. Let me have a look. So they're $139 Australian new. I got them including shipping for $81.30. So she accepted my offer of $70 and then there was shipping. This is a size large. And I think I just like it. Like, I'm a big trackies wearer, and the idea that I might be able to dress these up and down. I mean, I shamelessly wear trackies in public anyway, but I would like to feel more refined. So this feels like a gateway drug to that. I think maybe a shirt tucked in is giving Harry high pants. Or maybe if I imagine a loose t-shirt, oversized t-shirt, trench, Birks, iced coffee, sunglasses. She's not your regular slob. She's a chic slob. Okay, next up is another thing that I had been targeted and then sourced on Depop. I might put my jeans back on. So this is from a brand called Primi. They're Melbourne-based, and I have bought some basics from them before, just like similar, not similar to this, more summer ones, but just singlets that I've been like, they've just been real workhorses. And I think now I'm in my elevated basics. That's actually what we should all be in, but I've now realised that it's all about the basics, not so much the showpieces. But just, fun little shoulder moment. It is really cold in Sydney at the moment, and I found that this shoulder can get cold. Like, I'll put a coat on and I'm like, I feel a bit asymmetrical, but I do think it's worth it. It's fun. This is a large. When I got the other Primi items, I got large. I don't think I think I should be a medium. Like, I think their sizing is too small. Though this, maybe I should have bought a medium. But in the other Primi singlets that I have, they're like quite fitted and they're the large. So I was like, and there was a large on Depop. So this was $40 plus shipping, $51. And it's and it's got, I forgot. Isn't that so fun? So this has been a real vibe. So new, okay, so it's $64.99. However, it was sold out in red. And I've always known this, but I've recently really hit home that red is my color. So I saw this during my Depop binge, but I was on Instagram and I was like, holy smokes, that's really nice. But it was, and I might have bought it new to be honest, but it was sold out. And so I got it for $14 less and got my mitts on it. So this for me would be a keep. I've worn it 2 or 3 times already. Just a fun little girly pop. This next one I was a bit disappointed by. I haven't ironed anything, by the way. I think the colour actually looks pretty good on the camera. And it's not bad. I will wear this. I love an oversized shirt. I love blue. But on the listing, it actually looks the exact same on the screen. But it was like, I thought it was bright blue, like electric blue, cobalt kind of thing, which is a colour that I love. And I probably wouldn't have bought it if I still like this, but it just isn't special. But I do think I'll get lots of wear out of it and I definitely would keep it. And it wasn't like misrepresented. It was just not a great photo, but she didn't describe it as like electric blue shirt. Anyway, this is linen from Uniqlo. It was $15 plus shipping, so I paid $27. That sentence to me shows that I was in a Depop binge. I wouldn't normally spend $27 on a secondhand oversized shirt because I go op shopping so much that I can get secondhand oversized shirts for less. So that to me says that I'd lost the plot then. But that's okay. Like, I don't regret it. I like it. It's not in perfect condition, but again, not bad enough to complain about. Like, you can see there's a bit of wear but it's fine. I do like it. I definitely like it. You know, when you find a girly on Depop that has good taste and you're like, I want your wardrobe and I'm going to buy everything because I think what you like, I'll like. I bought 4 things from this woman. She had a lot of like Country Road, COS, Alpha 60 and other stories, probably some Reformation in there, like just my vibe. So where do we start? So this is a wrap top, as you can see, from And Other Stories. It is like, part of me thinks it's too large, but then I've worn it like 4 times since it arrived a couple of weeks ago. So obviously I'm reaching for it. She also had it in black, but it had already sold by the time I found her account. And that was a bummer because I think a black would have been great. It's got the like hole that you tie through so it stays even, but I've been kind of like purposefully having it kind of off offline kind of thing. So it's a bit more. But yeah, what do we think? It's a size large. I'm like between a medium and a large, depending on brands. And I probably would be a medium in this, I think. This is what I was talking about earlier where I'm like, I could repop this easily. I'll tell you the prices. I got like a bundle discount, so I'll tell you the price for the whole thing. But I think I could make my money back if I changed my mind about this. So I would love your thoughts. Do we like it? Same seller. Oh, I want to like this. I think it's too wide. I have seen people wear vests as tops, or I can put a shirt under it, but it's more this, I think. Like, I thought I was going to try and make this work, but now I'm like, yeah, like maybe fitted would be better. Why am I hiding this rig, I recently found out that I have D cups when I thought I had Bs my whole life. So I'm like, I won't shut up about it, basically. Yeah, like maybe actually fitted. Yeah, I just don't think I don't feel that confident in it. I might repop this. What do we think? Now, this is a nice piece of clothing. It's a country road top v-neck, like it's a good classic, but I've got to say I feel like a bit of a mum in it. I love mums, but I just like, I wouldn't call myself an edgy dresser, but most things I wear just need to have some pop of something. I think I'll keep this for the winter, or like at least for the next month, and see if I wear it at all. Because like my thoughts were, I also have a more professional job than I've had in the past. So these simple but not elevated basics I think are good for me to have. But I'm just like, I wonder if I'm ever actually going to reach for this. It feels like incredible quality though. Like it's got this ribbed situation. And again, the honkers, now that I have the right size bra, just, who am I? There's one more item from this lady. Just another shirt. This is also Country Road. It's got a stripe. I have 2 striped button-up shirts that are nearly identical to each other, but I would say they're not identical to this. This has like a pinstripe, and those have a bit of a thicker stripe, and they're much more oversized. I think they're men's shirts. What do I think? I'm so used to wearing men's shirts that the buttons being on the like women's side I'm like, what? It's a bit boring, but it does feel like a good basic to keep. But like I've got so many shirts, but most of them are for old men and we're from old men. So like having one that, fits my shoulders, and this does feel more businessy. I have a work trip next week. Maybe I take it with me and see how it feels wearing it in a work scenario. Yeah. Maybe not that. I think I look like a cop. Like Mariska Hargitay is my idol, but I'm not trying to dress like a detective. All right, next up. Oh, and the total price for these, I paid $99 including shipping for all of that. $27 for the grey top, $17 for the Zara vest, $32 for the wrap top, $12 for this shirt, and then $11 for shipping. I feel like that was pretty good value. Okay, now this. This is not how it's meant to be worn. However, I wanted to say before I put the correct bra on that this was also from Primi, that brand that the red top is from, and I had my eye on it for ages because it had been on sale on Primi, and then I just never went for it. And then, when I was in the binge hole, I was like, well, you wanted that thing, let's see if it's available. And someone did have it, again, in size large. I think my issue with this one particularly is that it's a size large, but this is how it's meant to be worn. Stunning. I love this. And that's why I bought it, because I had been wanting a top kind of like this for a while. How are you meant to function? I didn't even put my arms up there and it's already a bit fucked. The boobs don't, I'll put a strapless bra on to see if that helps. The reason that I showed it to you first, like how it just gets put on, is because like when I tried it on, it also that might be because it's a large, but it feels like this is too, but it's so pretty. And butter yellow. Beautiful. But yeah, I when it arrived, I tried it on and was just working on my laptop for a little bit. And I don't know, I had to like reach for a pen. And eventually it just kind of sits like this. It's still got its tag on, so I think I'll just resell it. But I really like this look off the shoulder thing. If you own a shirt that has this sort of feature, are they all like this? Like, are they all very difficult to wear? It's not uncomfortable, it's just awkward. I feel like Sandy from Greece though. Sorry, I paid $31.50 for that yellow top. It was $20, $11.50 shipping. Okay, next one my boyfriend wants to steal from me. A blue denim coat. I think the pocket got a bit mangled in the wash. Isn't this cool? Like it feels quite in the era of chore jackets at the moment. And it was really cheap. I jumped on this. I normally haggle, but I was like, give me $20, $12 shipping. So $32. And it's like good heavy denim. It's no particular brand. It's just like some vintage Australian something. But yeah, my boyfriend was like, gift pour moi. And unfortunately it does. It fits him really well. Looks better on him. Ooh. I just found a hole. That's okay. I can fix that. I'm okay with my hands. And there's lots of room. You could definitely layer under it, but I think it could end up looking quite bulky if you had anything too thick underneath. Like this, perfect. Maybe like a merino wool situation, like not a big chunky knit. I think then it might look a bit Michelin. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. And so is Jai. Now, the last thing kind of, because there is another piece related to drama, which I'll explain momentarily, but there were two more. Oh, actually, where's that top? I washed it. Hang on. Oh, wait, no, there's something else. So sunglasses, my coolest pair of sunglasses are prescription, but nowadays I mostly wear contacts, so I can't wear them. I am going to go to an optometrist at some point and ask if they can change them to regular lenses, but they're hexagonal, so I don't know. So the like two simple ones I've had in rotation are a black pair and a tortoiseshell pair that I just got from a market in Byron. And I don't love them. They're fine, but like every time I wear them, I'm like, Poppy Lissiman, cool girl brand. I generally have stayed away from too many cool girl brands because I don't feel like a cool girl. And I don't really love wearing like branding that much, like huge logos and things like that. But I just thought if I'm going to get some plain sunglasses, why not these? They feel pretty like fuck you in a good way, you know? Black sunglasses, you can't go wrong. These were, I think they ended up being about $40 plus $10 shipping, $40. The trouble is though, they are slightly loose. Like I feel like they could come off. Okay. That's the way I feel, even if it's not doing it. So I think when I take the hexagonal sunglasses to the optometrist, I'll ask if they can just give these a tighten. Then the last thing, where is that top? Okay, so the most recent order that I made, I think was probably also inspired by like being advertised things on Instagram and me trying to see if I can get it on Depop. Activewear. I go to the gym a few times a week or like do Pilates and whatever. Last year I found my holy grail pair of bike shorts, the Lorna Jane Amy ones. They're just like the right thickness, the right length, have a pocket. And my sports bras are mostly just like, I think I've got two from Cotton On like 6 years ago, you know, maybe some that I got in a Black Friday sale. Just buying all black activewear, I think is the right move. Because for me, it's very much about function. I don't need to also be thinking about style and fashion in the gym kind of thing. That being said, I am just a girl and I have a phone and I get advertised too. So I was like, oh, maybe now that I'm getting back into fitness a bit more, a fun activewear top could be fun. I was looking at some and I found this, a halter neck one. So this is a brand called Ortco. I think it's Ortco. She said it was brand new. I think it was a medium. I can understand maybe why she sold it because it fits fine here. But this is a little bit loose. Like if you were looking for support, this wouldn't be it. But I did get it because I'm kind of like, I could just wear this as a top in summer as well. Like I could wear it to Pilates and slowly morph into like Pilates princess, or I could just wear it with some shorts or like a maxi skirt or something. So don't mind me. That's that. So I bought this in a bundle deal with a black tank and I hand washed it, which meant I had to leave it on the dryer for ages on the drying rack. And now I don't know where it is. But basically, I didn't really know what I was going to expect with it. It was a plain black tank. I only bought it because I was paying for shipping anyways. And I got it for $7.50. So I was like, I'll give it a try. And the brand I was unfamiliar with, Remain, I think it's a New Zealand brand, seemed to be like fairly expensive. So I just thought maybe this is a good deal. And maybe the only other thing worth mentioning now is the things that I'm still thinking about getting and keeping an eye on. Belts. A cool belt, particularly with silver hardware. I'm getting more into silver jewelry. I have one belt with silver hardware that I like, but it's quite big, like it's not really around the waist. So I'd like one that I can fit around the waist, not just the hips. Ballet flats. I negotiated too hard on a pair of cream ballet flats that had this kind of ruched detail, and she sold them to someone else. And I've still been thinking about that, and that was like a month ago, which makes me think I'd like them. It's hard to get shoes in my large size, so I'll just be keeping an eye on that. And in the same vein, loafers. I keep going back and forth on loafers. I bought a pair years ago, like 5+ years ago, and they were so uncomfortable to break in. And I feel like that might be the shoe. Like, I think that might just be loafers. Is that true? Like, has anyone got a comfortable pair of loafers? So I'm wondering, can I like skip that part by buying them used? But also I think from memory, when I bought them last time, I just thought a loafer's a loafer, and they're not, like, it didn't look very good. So I think I want like a chunky one. So it might just be something that I just have to keep my eye out at the physical op shop thrift. Was there anything else on my recently saved? Like, obviously, like some pretty dresses. I have a wedding in India in October, so I have been looking for lehengas. Cropped cardigan, I could use another cropped cardigan. And yeah, then it's mostly just like random knitwear and things that they're not keeping me up at night. Yeah, like, see that that belt, something like that, just like something a bit unique. I regret not buying that one. I think I just wasn't ready to spend, like, it would have been $40 with shipping for a belt. And I often get them for like $4 at an op shop. Oh, I was about to get sucked into looking for them. Anyway, let's get back changed and gossip. Okay, now the little bits of drama that I'm probably outing myself as a Karen here, but I don't know. I guess in classic Karen fashion, I think I was in the right. So let me tell you the different stories and you can weigh in. All right, so the first one was this, I'll put up a photo. It was a grey cashmere crew neck. A couple of years ago, had a Uniqlo wool crew neck, and it was just a good workhorse. I felt in my current winter wardrobe, that's something I could use, something that's like, it's not oversized, but it's not fitted. You can see a little bit of your white t-shirt sticking out the front, that sort of thing. But that Uniqlo one, I shrunk. So when I found this one online on Depop, it was cashmere, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm in my like quality purchase era. And I messaged the woman saying, can I just check that this is actually like, would it fit a 10 to 12? It's a true medium, and it hasn't been shrunk in the wash, because obviously I've had experience with that. She said, hey there, yes, it's an original size 10 to 12, size to be clear, like all good. We did a countering. I ended up paying like $115 for it, I think. I'm a tight ass. That's not a nothing amount of money for me, but I did feel like it was a good deal for the cashmere jumper. I think they're normally like $500 or something. So it arrives and I try it on, and it is like snug. And it's not just snug like it's too small for me. It's like the sleeves are a bit small. Like, I'm like, babe, I'm pretty sure this has been shrunk. And like, the thing is, the photos that she used were the like model photo, which show how it's meant to fit, which isn't skin tight. So I'm like, if you're saying it is for a 10 to 12, but it fits like an 8, I don't feel like the way that you advertised online is correct. So I messaged her and basically was like, can I just send it back and we can just refund, and if it's such a great item, you can resell it, kind of thing. So I said, hey, blah, I'm so sorry to do this, but I really don't think the sizing for this is right. It's much shorter than it should be, which makes me think it's shrunk, and it fits like an 8, not a 10 to 12. If I post this back to you, would you refund me? She was like, hey there, it's not meant to be oversized at all. It's a tighter fitting jumper, which is how the feather cashmere is supposed to fit. I'm like, I know it's not meant to be oversized, but it's clearly shrunk. It's super short. She was just like, I assure you it's not shrunk, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, can I clarify you're not gonna refund? Yeah, she said no. So then I lodged it with Depop, because I then also looked at like the original brand's website and what the measurements meant to be, and the measurements weren't what it was on the jumper. So I got the refund. So that's fine. Like, I'm happy with the end result. I would have been annoyed to have spent $110 on something that doesn't fit. What do you think? Like, was I a bit harsh there? I feel like it's tricky because like knitwear, I don't know, the fit, but I'm like, look at the photo. That's not a 12. And it's not like how it was meant to fit in the photos, in my opinion. So that was the first thing. And I was like, God, is any of this Depop stuff actually worth it? Like, what a pain. Then something else that I had bought were brown Nude Lucy trousers, linen pants. I'll show you. These like linen pants. Now this is probably comeuppance for my own like ability to be marketed at. The red one shoulder top that I bought, when I was looking on the Primy page, I saw an influencer wearing it with brown pants, and I was like, oh my God, stunning. I need brown pants. So then I went and bought those brown pants. They were $80. No, I think I got them for $70 with shipping because they were $80, I offered $60, it was $10 for shipping. And they were one of the first things that I bought, and then other things were coming through. There was no shipping added to Depop for these pants. There was a tracking number put onto the listing like 5 days after I'd purchased it. But when I put that tracking number into Australia Post, it said label created by sender. So that was, I think I bought it on like a Wednesday. I got that update in the Depop app on the Monday. Then I think on the Thursday I messaged her and was like, hey, I can see that there's been no shipping, like Australia Post hasn't scanned it anywhere. Can you give me an update kind of thing? And I didn't get a reply. And on the Depop like shipping policy, they have to send it within 5 to 7 days or like at least communicate it about it kind of thing. So then because I hadn't heard from her, I didn't get any indication that anything had actually been shipped. I didn't really know what was going on. I just lodged with Depop like, hey, this hasn't been sent, and I have tried to contact with her. And then a few days later, I just got $70 refunded into my account and was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't really care about the pants. And then maybe like 2 days after that or a day after that, I get a message from the seller and she's like, hey, yeah, sorry, I've been moving, put it in the post. I put it in the post last week, so it should be there soon or something. And I was like, what? And then I looked at the tracking number and it had been posted that day, but I'd already got the refund. So I guess she didn't like see that. I think she sells a lot of stuff. So maybe like, and a lot of the feedback is like seller didn't send for ages. I had to get a refund, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see that at the time. So I'm like, maybe she's just someone who is overcommitted, overstretched kind of thing, which I feel for, but also I'm like, well, you got my money. So you've got my responsibility to me to at the very least keep me informed. So anyway, this is like maybe 2 weeks after I'd purchased it, a week after I'd followed up, and like 2 or 3 days after I'd received a refund. She sends it, but then immediately realizes, or like the day after is like, hey, I can see that the package says awaiting collection, but you've been given a refund. And I was like, I'm just going to give you the receipts for this. Girl, this was refunded by Depop last week because you hadn't posted and then went MIA. So I contacted them. This obviously wasn't, or I think I was sassier than I realized, in brackets. This obviously wasn't put in the post until Monday, so please don't lie. The post boxes are collected every day, so there's no way you posted it on the 19th. I can send it back, but you'll need to pay for postage. She says, I don't appreciate being called a liar. The parcel was shipped last week. I have put a claim through Depop. And I said, girl, there was no way in hell that the item was sent yet somehow never scanned by Australia Post until yesterday morning. I paid for the item on the 14th and you didn't bother to post until the 26th. And then she didn't reply. Obviously had submitted something with Depop. And then I was at the post office that afternoon because I'd spent so much money on stuff on Depop. I was like, I've got to sell some stuff. So I was at the post office posting things. And while I was at the post office, I asked the post office woman, like I showed her the thing and I was like, this said label created by sender on this date, but then it said shipped, Australia Post received tracking information on this date. Like, could she have sent it in that time? And she's like, no, there's no way. She just created the label and didn't send it. She was like, that's what businesses do. You can create your own labels in a warehouse, but not actually hand it over. And so I was like, don't lie. Like, it's really different if you can get on and say, hey, I'm really sorry I haven't been to the post office this week. I will send it on this day. Or like, really, just be honest. We get it. Everyone gets it. Just don't lie. She was like, I don't really think that this who is telling the truth is necessary. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, there is no question about who's telling the truth. No one's questioning if I'm telling the truth. Will you be keeping the item without paying? And I said, I told you I'm happy to send it back, but I won't be paying for postage. Like, happy for Depop to sort this out if it like means that postage gets reimbursed to me or whatever. Anyway, I haven't heard back. And I don't want to keep an item that I haven't paid for. I also don't want to go and pay $15 for postage and like just send something back when it was her mess up. Like, none of this was my issue. She made the mistake and was rude about it. So what do we think? Am I being a brat in a bad way or a brat in a good way? I guess the question that I would love to open to the floor, beyond the several other pieces of feedback I've asked you for, is like this tendency to want stuff. As someone who considers themselves critical of late stage capitalism, but still affected by the whims of wanting to look cool, trendy, like have nice things, is this like insatiable want for stuff? Do you think that's like human nature, or do you think that that's the whole marketing system just doing a really good job at kind of telling us that getting new stuff is enjoyable? I don't know. I think I do need to put the brakes on. Not just because, like, I literally don't really have any more money for it, but I do still have a big mending pile. And, like, also still just go thrifting because that's what me and my grandma do for fun. And so there's, like, another benefit to going op shopping physically because there's, like, a social aspect, whereas Depop, maybe it's just the, like, money leaves my account that feels so, like, soulless. What I think Depop is really good for is, like, when you need something specific. Like, I would like to get another puffer jacket for the winter and I can go on and find something very specific there. It's just that when I do that, I then get sucked in. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Let me know what you think. Don't judge me too hard. Even better, tell me I'm right. I would love that.